It's a great day to be with you. I'm David Essel, of course, for the past 43 years as a counselor, master life coach, number one best-selling author. I wanted to talk to you today about anxiety. The world that we're living in right now is filled with everything you can imagine mental health-wise, right? And anxiety is right at the top of the plate. I would say that in my private practice, we probably have about 60% of people that are struggling with some kind of anxiety. The national average is usually around 40 to 45%, but the pandemic has ranked it up and ratcheted up dramatically. So what are some of the causes of anxiety? Some of the most obvious ones would be abuse in childhood. And now listen, when we talk about abuse, we're not just talking about sexual abuse. Of course, that's a massive one. But abuse that the parent wants the child to be perfect. The abuse, the emotional abuse that comes when a parent is an addict or an alcoholic. The lack of attention can create extreme anxiety. And how does that happen? Because that lack of attention, the attention towards the addiction or the attention towards something else other than the child creates a child with extremely low self-confidence, extremely low self-esteem, not feeling worthy maybe of being loved or being successful, which creates an underlying feeling of anxiety. There can be a million other reasons that anxiety is created. We can have anxiety created from a traumatic event. Of course, coming back from war is massive, right? But it could also be a 6-year-old being thrown into a pool when they're not expecting it. Believe it or not, that can create long-term anxiety. Oh my gosh, Rob from Wales, it's always great to have you with us, brother. Thank you so much for tuning in. Anxiety can come from repetitively failing in relationships. It can come from repetitively failing as an entrepreneur. It can come from repetitively failing in the workplace. You know, there's a million different causes of anxiety, and I bring up all these different examples because during the pandemic, many of these things have happened. People have lost their homes, their jobs, careers, family members that they've lost. And so when we have that much stress coming down, it will create some form of an internal emotional response. And anxiety is a huge one. Now, I'm just going to get to a couple of solutions for it. There's a million solutions. But number one, I promise you, this is the most important. You need to find someone to talk to. You need to find someone to express, to vent to. And you need to find the origin. Some people, it's really obvious. The origin was coming back from war. Other people, like I'm working with a client who had an automobile accident when she was around 16 and created and carried forward into her life for 50 years extreme anxiety about being in a car. Now, that was a traumatic event that had never been taken care of. We've taken care of it now. She's driving again, right? So, but the anxiety came from an experience. Now, the last thing I'm going to mention is this, family history. If you were raised in a family where mom and dad were always anxious or grandma and grandpa were always anxious and they were helicopter parents and they wanted to protect you from ever being hurt, that can create a sense of anxiety as well. In other words, the world is not a safe place. Addictions easily create ongoing anxiety. So I bring all this up because it is rampant in our society today. I want you to at least have a few of the causes that we can look at. Maybe you can evaluate yourself. Share this on your page. There's too many people struggling with anxiety. The other thing I'm going to say besides working with a professional is that there's something called the vagus nerve. It runs from head to toe. It has everything to do with anxiety. A deep breathing exercises where you put your hand on your belly. It's called diaphragmatic breathing, where you breathe and your belly moves. It's the deepest way to breathe that you can, and it calms the vagus nerve. There's a million other supplements out there I can tell you about, but I just want to give you a couple ideas today, but please share this. Don't forget also our free online program, Helping Americans Heal, which has tips about anxiety. You can join it, and the very first thing you get, it's absolutely free at talkdavid.com. And the very first thing you get is our #1 best-selling book on positive thinking, instantly. The second you join, you get something to put your hands around, your teeth into, to start moving forward in life. And then every week you'll get an email from us with the program Helping Americans Heal that'll include video interviews, podcasts. It'll include articles. It'll include free magazines on addiction recovery, free sleep help audios and videos. So there's a ton of things. Helping Americans Heal. Join us for free at talkdavid.com. You'll also find a bunch of other programs there that you might find of interest as well, okay? Have a beautiful day. If you are struggling with anxiety, you're part of the 60% of our country that is. And if you are struggling with anxiety, work with me one-on-one or some other professional at talkdavid.com, okay? We need to get this under control, and we can. I'm very optimistic about your future and mine. Have a great day.